I don't want you to ignore the fact that there are 32 wonderful artists here at Archway. So make sure you check out the walls around here, because it's really an impressive place. Okay, so about the show. This is my 4th solo show, and I love it. So it doesn't matter if you guys think. I really like it, and one of the reasons is because I can see the path I've taken over the 9 years I've been at Archway. From my first show, that earlier tonight, this by the way is the 4th meeting of the Dunleavy Geological Society over there. Then we have the photography groups, Silver somewhere sequestered over there. This group of artists at Archway has really made my work better. And I think I've become more and more painterly, because as you can tell, most of the Archway artists are indeed painters. And so it's definitely affected, what I've done here and put on the walls here. As it turns out, I went back to where I was like 2 shows ago, back to one of my favorite places, Island Park, Idaho, and this beautiful spring called Big Spring. And every time I go there, it looks a little different. Depends on what time of year you are, time of day makes a difference, whether it's sunny or whether it's cloudy, like one of the pictures here with just a ray of light moving across the spring. It always looks different. And I took pictures of a number of natural springs, but when I whittled it all down to the ones I was putting on the wall, it turned out they were all from Big Spring. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. That's the way it is. And then also last year, 2 years ago, I was out in Canyon de Shag, and the geologists made me notice some very unusual fracture patterns. You can see it on this, right over here, and over here, and a couple of other of these images. And it caught my attention. Most people go here and they look for the Anasazi ruins. So this image here, you turn 90 degrees to the left and it's the White House ruins, and every photographer's taking pictures of that. I'm looking at around 40 to 50 feet of a 600-foot cliff, because the fracture pattern is cool as we do. And so what's the unifying theme here? Apparently I like distortion. So you've got the distortion in the water created by the ripples, and then magnifies and then reduces what you're seeing in the plants beneath the surface. The colors in all of those are plants beneath the surface, and I haven't messed with them. There's a plant called a monkey flower. It's an underwater plant. It does grow through the surface. It can be green, pink, purple, red. It can be all of that on one stem, which is really great for a photographer, because you get your color in one spot. But the ripples distort the image, and so it creates sort of an abstraction of what you're looking at. And most people don't see it when they go to Big Springs. For one, you need to have polarizing sunglasses, and you need to do a lot of head tilting to see what's going on. And also, these are close-ups. So Big Springs is a large spring, large water flow coming out of it. Most of these images are maybe 6 inches to a little over a foot across. So 400 millimeter lens shot at a distance of maybe 6 to 8 feet. And some are a little further, but a lot of them are just super close-ups. And that's the other thing that sort of unifies this. I guess I look for the hidden recesses instead of the grand panorama. And so I see the little things, and I think that's part of my geology background. I see patterns, and I see sort of little pieces of something special in amongst the whole scene. And that's basically it. The other person I'd like to thank, of course, is Lisa, because she gives me the time to go on my own up to Montana for a couple of weeks in Idaho, and Canyon de Shag for a week, and I just say bye, and she says that's good because it's boring watching you take photos in the last 3 days. Are you sure this isn't the same thing you just saw like 20 minutes ago? She's right, but that's what I do, and that's what she lets me do. So anyway, does anyone have any? Oh, the other thing for these images, this year, last 2 years I brought a tripod out, which my photography friends have told me that I should have been doing for years. It afforded me the opportunity of increasing the time. So time is the element on these water images. Instead of freezing the motion, which I've done on 2 of the images, most of these are 1/8 of a second, 1/15 of a second, so the water is flowing and distorting over the image, which is further creates a further impression of the scene. And that's about it. Any questions?
FotoFest.
Larry,
Yep.
the green one over here in the valley looking down, you said it's where?
Canyon de Chelly, spelled Canyon de Chelly.
Where?
The Arizona-New Mexico border.
Oh,
It's a national monument run by the Navajo tribe.
great picture.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I had a technical question.
Yeah.
You said the pictures are 12 inches?
So the distance across this is probably 1 foot to 1.5 feet, and so it's very magnified.
So my question is, the resolution, particularly in these that we were looking at, is extremely high. So what kind of camera are you using?
A high mid-level Canon, nothing to brag about, and way less than that Pixels and Silver crew over here generally uses. But the difference is, tripods help with clarity of an image. Gets rid of that handshake.
Thank you.
And you can see what, those 2 images were taken from the spot that's in a photo right behind Rosemary there. And you can see it's right near the cliff edge, as
Yeah,
close
it
as
looks
I was
like it's
willing
like
to
300
get.
or 400 feet up.
A little more.
Okay. Cool.
Any other, yeah? Crop them? Yes. Yeah. Because, you know, who does the work on these photos? Clearly Big Spring does does most of the work. So the only thing I have to do is compose the image. And so you know your lens has a certain aspect ratio, and the rest is then cropping to get the composition that you want. And in terms of how much manipulation do I do? These rock ones, this one and that one, that is not the natural color, but tan on tan is not all that pretty. So I rotated the color bar on those so that the fracture pattern would pop out. The others, those are the natural colors. I up the saturation, clarity, vibrance around 8%. And if you know digital cameras, you sort of need to do that to get it back to what it looks like. So other than that, I did horse around with it.
So I have a question. Are you doing this on your camera or Photoshop?
Photoshop.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's probably still a lot of food, and I already gave you something else.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out in spite of our concerns about the virus. And I just wanted to really make the point that because of the virus, there are people that will miss a week of work and will have difficulty putting food on the table for their kids. So please bid generously on the Empty Bowls projects. They're gorgeous. And if you have any, if you're not sure how the bidding process works, the folks at the desk will tell you.
Pointing to me, I will have Great call. Okay, at that, have fun with the art and have fun talking, but definitely look at the walls, folks. There are a lot of talented artists in this gallery.
Good job, Larry.